Hello, my name is José Manuel Bretón, and this is my final presentation for the Professional Practices 1 project. And this is the documentation project at BASF Puebla. So, project description. First, there's a major migration project of the distributed control system, and documentation is vital for this task. And as of today, there was no proper documentation when the project started, so that migration project was not possible. And also, because there's no proper documentation, troubleshooting tasks are too difficult to carry out in time. So with this new documentation, troubleshooting tasks can be done fast and in a safer way, avoiding risk, which is very important for the chemical industry. So, objectives. The first objective is about time. So, with troubleshooting tasks, they're taking too much time now. That's because there's no proper documentation, so the automation specialists must read the code, and that takes too much time. So, with this documentation project, we expect to make this troubleshooting task shorter. Then, the second objective is about finding bad practices. Well, we know there are bad practices everywhere, and BASF is not the exception. So, we want to find what's being done wrong in the automation area, so these things can be enhanced and be done better. And the third objective is about getting ready for the total migration project. Because, well, it's going to take place soon, and the programmers from whichever brand is going to change the DCS must know exactly what they must program. And if they have proper documentation, they can program it right and get it right the first time without having many errors when the new DCS starts. So, goals. The first goal is the design. So, the design template for the documentation must be easy to read, illustrative, and also follow the regulations. So, the first goal is to have this design correctly made. And, well, the second one is doing the documentation. Of course, not every unit is going to be documented because there are too many of them for this short period of time, but as much as we can. And the third one is to prepare a document with a list of bad automation and programming practices so they can be corrected later. So, specifications. Well, this one is the first ANSI ISA specification, so it is about the names of tags. So we're going to follow this and name each tag correctly. However, there are some customs or some practices in BASF for tag naming or tag assigning that are not going according to this ANSI ISA normative, so we're going to stick to that because it will be too difficult and too long to change all those tags across all the plant. And, well, the other specification is the sequence matrix described in this ANSI ISA normative. So we're going to stick to that, and that's the general structure of this matrix, having the faces as columns and the instruments as rows. So, and last specification, and this is very important, the documentation should be easy to read, like should be understood fast, and it should have colors, so it is also easier to understand. So, regulations, we already talked about these ANSI ISA normatives. So first the one about the tags, and second the one about documentation. So contributions. The first contribution. It was seen that the original sequence matrix from the normative from ISA ANSI was going to be too wide, and that was bad for reading, very bad for reading. So we opted for an invert matrix that will be not a wide matrix but a long one, but it's easier to scroll down and up, so that's a better way to do it, so we did it that way. And second, we didn't want to have a massive matrix that was just very hard to read. What we wanted was to make maybe more matrices, but easier to read. So we have first a general or main sequence matrix for the unit, and well, this one wouldn't have all the instrumentation, just the equipment modules to make it shorter. And then we will make more specific matrices for each equipment module, this time with all the instruments. So if the programmer or the automation specialist want to know something more specific about the process, they can go to these more specific module matrices. And well, of course, we wanted to identify the bad practices. And well, learnings. Well, there were a lot of them. First, it is how to program and how to administrate a DCS or distributed control system. I first didn't know anything about this, so all of this is new and it's great. And also a lot of knowledge about practical work in the industry, which is very, very different from work in the academy or in the university. This is very different. And well, a lot about the chemical industry, how the production lines work there, which equipment is used there, what are the risks, the safety risks, which are very important in the chemical industry. And well, actually we programmed a reactor, and that was a wholesome learning experience. And well, new programming languages, contact with the new technology in the industry, with the industry 4.0 tendencies. So yes, there were a lot of learning outcomes here. And well, ethical and professional responsibility first. Job loss. So the new DCS is going to have new technologies, and it is going to be more sophisticated than the last DCS. So the work of some people is in risk, because if this DCS is more sophisticated and it can do their job, so well, they're not longer needed. So that's a problem there. And of course, the directors in the plant don't want this, and they're going to protect these jobs, but it could happen, and it's always a risk with automation. And of course, the risk of industrial accidents. If the documentation is done wrongly, and then the programming of the new DCS is done wrongly as well, because it's based on the documentation, then, for instance, a valve could be opened when it should not be opened, and some dangerous substance or materials could go out or leak, and they could hurt people or even cause death. So that's a really important issue. Okay, then, well, ecology. This will actually be good for ecology, because in BASF, or in general in the chemical industry, when there are very low quality products due to errors with the programming with some step, then it must be burned. It is burned with qualified companies that, well, they do that for a living and they do it according to law. But anyway, it's burned chemical material, and that's not good for the environment. So with this documentation, maybe that could be avoided. And of course, the protection of sensible information. So inside all the programming, all the recipes and all the techniques and chemical knowledge of the, well, of this company, BASF, is there. So yes, one should be careful when working with it. So when working with USB drives with internet connection, so everything must be encrypted when it is in a USB drive, for example. So yes, no information about this should be published or commented with unappropriate people, because that could endanger well, the whole company. Yes. So the conclusions. So the design was shown to the automation specialists and they were happy with it. And it followed all the specifications, so that's a good thing, and that was a success. And well, the span of time to do the documentation for troubleshooting was very short, so there were not a lot of instances for using this, but it was used twice, and both times it was useful, and it made the tasks faster and easier, so that was a success as well. And well, the experts from the United States of America, well, they visited the plant, and conversations were held about the DCS migration project, and it was ratified that the documentation is really important for this. So, well, that gets some important confidence on this project, that is needed. And well, also the document about the bad practices was written, it was handled, and now actions are being taken about that. And well, another conclusion is that now 30% of the units are already documented, but there are already, well, there are 70% of the units that is now pending and it needs documentation. So thank you for your attention, and well, I hope you learned something. Thank you very much.